Now in week 2 of USL League One, the upstate of South Carolina gets their chance to show their colors as Greenville Triumph SC hosts their inaugural home opener against Lansing Ignite FC. I'm Chris Pekovic, alongside me Ross Davenport. We bring you the action from Greenville, South Carolina, and marching into Legacy Early College, it's the new supporters club for Greenville Triumph SC, Reedy River Riot, who are putting on a great show in pregame so far.
Yeah, it doesn't get much more exciting than this for upstate soccer fans, the inaugural home opener for this Greenville Triumph team.
And Greenville returning home, of course, after a disappointing result in the inaugural match of USL League One, a 1-0 defeat at Tormenta FC, but some positives out of that, Ross.
Yeah, no, John Hawks has built this team around his defense. Tyler Pollock, Evan Lee, Cole Seiler, Kevin Politz can play in a 3 or a 4. And, of course, behind them in goal is the competent Dallas J.
And obviously only letting in one goal, that coming on the breakaway by Micheletto in the second half. But other than that, a strong showing for Greenville Triumph SC, including on the offensive end. Some key chances. Arguably, it's hard to understand how they didn't score in this match.
Yeah, Pablo Hara made a great save late, and then this was a nice chance here. The quick throw by Tyler Polak, flicked on by Cameron Solon. Jake Keegan, we might see a little more of tonight at the 9 spot, just wide there.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to try to use him more as some new tactics come into play. We'll get into in our starting lineups coming up next, as Keegan will move more towards a central role at the top of the formation in his number 9 jersey out there. On the other side in tonight's match, Lansing Ignite FC, total opposite. They put 3 goals on the board compared to the shutout that Greenville faced out there, and first coming through the run of play.
Yeah, stacked as Greenville out at the back. This Lansing team is just as stacked on the offensive end. Got the likes of Ricky Lopez Espin, Celso, Bruce will come off the bench tonight likely.
Something to watch in this match tonight, of course, that high press that Lansing so well known for after this opening match win. Nick Moon getting the interception there over to Gomez. Yeah,
Nick Moon, a very guy that can play anywhere, and showed some quick feet there in the box, set up that goal. A nice header there.
Yeah, and heading back in the net was Koyfik. With that, coming up next on ESPN Plus, of course, Greenville Triumph SC will host their inaugural home match against Lansing Ignite FC, still looking for their first win of 2019. Welcome back here into the campus of Legacy Early College, as both starting lineups heading out onto the field. Greenville Triumph SC hosting Lansing Ignite FC after Lansing had a 3-2 win over Richmond on the road. Now, a new signing coming this week, Ross, for Greenville Triumph SC, and not using up an international roster spot. It's okay, don't worry. But a 1961 Triumph TR3A custom detailed there. Driving outside the stadium here today.
Look at that thing. Beautiful and old and English, just like me.
See, I could see you going around town in a Bournemouth one decorated like this.
Definitely. Open top especially.
But a beautiful car you get to see if you head out to a game over at Legacy Early College. We start with the home side as Greenville Triumph SC trots out a very similar lineup that we saw against Tormenta, but maybe some new tactics within it.
Yeah, we talked to Coach Harks during the week. They had 3 at the back last week, but against this Lansing offense, they're going to go with 4 at the back, and a solid 4 it is, with McCloud Walker just in front of them, and Edmundo Robinson comes in up top.
And Bermudez probably getting the most attention of any player in USL League One among the podcasts this week.
No, he played well. Very quick, good on the ball. He played more of a wing-back spot last week, and now I'll get a chance to see what he can do up top.
Now we'll take a look at the Lansing lineups coming in here on the road. Just one real key change out there for Lansing. Not too surprised by this. Lopez Espin gets the start up top.
Yeah, big guy, 6'3", originally out of Miami. He can score. He's got pace. I'm interested to see what he does. And obviously next to him, Celso will also some extreme pace, and he'll be looking to serve some into Lopez Espin tonight.
Yes, also a fantastic match. 3 created chances, including that assist we showed you just a few moments ago. As we head into Legacy Early College, a beautiful venue that they actually brought in many of the seats for the compound from a contractor, as making it a 4,100 seat stadium. And based on what we're seeing from the Reedy River Riot and the other supporters, should be a good crowd here tonight. Yeah,
I don't think the stadium will matter too much to these upstate soccer fans today. They're just going to be so excited about this home opener, and especially a nice FIFA set up turf, and hopefully we got a good crowd out there. You know, there are some of them there.
And we have 2 teams that started the season with a 3-back formation, but now Greenville saying, hey, we're going to try something different after the Tormenta match. So again, we're seeing a lot of different defensive tactics out there, so hopefully for Greenville it doesn't ruin that chemistry we saw in the opening result.
No, yeah, we talked to Coach Harks about it. You know, again, he's put a lot of eggs in his defensive basket, and then playing Jake Keegan out wide last week was a little bit puzzling, but you know, this team is definitely not going to give up too many goals. The real question is where are the goals going to come from. Jake Keegan has shown in the past, especially in his trip to Ireland, that he can score, and maybe he gets a good chance playing in that true 9 tonight.
By the way, that 1961 car created by Tommy Pike Customs, want to give them a shout out as really a beautiful piece of work we saw this week unveiled by Greenville. There you see them in the green tops, the white shorts on a beautiful day here, beautiful evening on this Saturday night up in Greenville, South Carolina. Again, I'm Chris McCovic alongside me, Ross Davenport, bringing you the action. Those orange fiery uniforms for Lansing showcasing there. So we have the orange and the green out there on the field here tonight.
Yeah, definitely 2 contrasting colors. We'll see if the results are contrasting for each team. We'll finish with things even at the end of tonight, but either way, an exciting occasion for this home opener for Greenville.
And Coach Hark's telling us this week that not too worried about the opposing high press and dealing with that in the back. We saw from Akira Fitzgerald of Richmond last week, spending the entire match trying to chip the high-pressing forwards of Lansing. So we'll see how they tend to handle this, but of course, Coach Hark's right behind his goalkeeper, Jay, who will try to continue that success out of the back.
No, I think this back 4 for Greenville has enough talent to play their way out a little better than Richmond did, but we'll see how they do tonight against this, as you just said, exciting high-press Lansing offense.
Took a long time last week for Richmond to get going, and that helped Lansing really get on top early on as Greenville gets things warmed up. And Chris Bermudez, at least for now, looking like he's going to have more of an attacking role here today. He was at the right wing-back spot in that 3-back formation last week. He'll be up top with the forwards this time around, and deservingly so, as also Robinson coming off the bench. And we'll have to see from last week now starting, so we'll have to see how he complements Keegan out there.
Yeah, we're just looking at that Greenville lineup there. Sammy Gadiri, the only one with a long-sleeve shirt on tonight. The Boca Raton, Florida native. He impressed last week. Coach Harks was a little disappointed. He came back a little too much to help. He really showed some superb defensive play, and there's the man we're just talking about. Yeah,
Coach John Harks, the U.S. men's national team legend. They're playing in multiple World Cups for the United States, and of course, 2-time MLS Cup champion and 2-time U.S. Open Cup champion.
Yeah, we talked to him a little bit about his Carolina connections. Obviously, his daughters both went to school in South Carolina, his son in North Carolina. He loves the area. Now come in to start the second team that he started. Obviously, FC Cincinnati had a great first season, and things didn't quite go the way he planned there, but hopefully he'll be able to get things going here with the triumph.
There's Nate Miller on the other side for Lansing Ignite FC. A great start for them, and he said a great first 70 minutes. Wasn't too pleased with the last 20 minutes of play. Said the wind was a huge factor in that Richmond result, but he'll have to deal with it again, as it seems to be blowing here pretty well in Greenville, South Carolina. Jake Keegan standing over the ball. Number 9 up at the top of the formation as we get things going here in Greenville, South Carolina. Triumph SC hosting their inaugural home opener in their green and white kits. Long ball early down the field. Trapped near the corner and out of play as the Lansing player running into the signage there.
Yeah, about as direct to the start as you can get. Greenville going deep early and now got themselves a nice little throw in deep here in Lansing territory.
It'll be Paul Klaus now with the throw in as they try to get things going immediately in the final third. Greenville, after defending so much of Torment in the last match, trying to get an early start here. Thrown into the box, grabbed out of the air by Kirk as he falls, and the LaSalle graduate holding on to it.
Yeah, great throw from Klaus there. I didn't see which exact direction the wind was going, but got almost all the way into the 6-yard box, and a nice claim by Kirk.
It'll be Fricky here taking it out of the back, a 3-back formation for Lansing. As Greenville right back with it. Evan Lee getting it, and they'll move it on back to their keeper, Dallas J. There's the Reedy River Riot on the end of the stadium closest to the Reedy River. As it'll be a throw-in from the near side here at Legacy Early College. Back through Stoneman trying to handle it against Keegan as he goes down, shoves it out of play, and it's off of Celso and into the side.
Look at Mundo Robinson setting up on the right-hand side of the front three for Greenville. We thought he might be on the left, but we'll see where Keegan and Gadiri sort of work each other in.
Yeah, quick formation change right after the first match for Coach Harks and Triumph. So obviously in the preseason working on a few options. Through ball almost open there for Robinson. Pollock knocks it down. Finally falls to Lansing here. See if they can make something happen.
Sammy Gadiri tracking back again, just like he did last week. Did very well defense. Looks like Keegan will set up in the middle there.
Walker losing the ball, but Lansing unable to pounce on it as he'll move it through the left side.
Looks like Chris Bermudez, who started last week at right wing back, is going to be on the left tonight.
Greenville service in, knocked away. Barely kept in play on the far side. Bermudez called for the foul towards the end of that one as he grabbed hold of the Ignite player.
Fans still filing in here, so we could get close to capacity here at Legacy early.
And great to see that first match for Greenville in their home confines. Keegan on the left flank knocks it off to Pollock. He flicks it into the box.
Yep, Tyler Pollock loves to get forward and has always provided great service from that left side during his career.
Service in by Lee. Headed away, looked like by Moshe Bane. And he'll come back for the foul.
Yeah, Sammy Gadiri with a little shove there. We talked to John Harks earlier in the week, and one of the first things he says was that he wasn't particularly impressed with the official last week, but again tonight, a couple of early fouls there that were a little weak. Good tackle there.
Late challenge in the end by Klaus. No card will be shown initially, at least. Tackle from behind.
Let's take another look at that. I thought Klaus got the ball. He may have come through the Ignite player, and coach there not very happy at all. That tackle.
And it was Xavier Gomez that went down. He's up and all right, it looks like.
Right in front of Nate Miller. He had the best view out of all of us.
Fourth official calming him down.
Referee Jasmine Peralta is going to have a word with Paul Klaus.
Lucky not to get a card early on, but 5th minute of action saying, hey, I'm going to let that one slide. Koyfik standing over it. He had a goal on a header in the first match of the season. Keegan putting some pressure on the back line. Driven forward and into the path of Robinson. Queens College player looking to get through traffic, but halted by Lansing. A foul called on that play on the left side. Moshe Bane going down. And it will draw some boos from the hometown crowd.
Coach Harks has clearly told Greenville here to sort of bring this press that Lansing uses on themselves. Little clip again by Clousday. He's lucky not to have a yellow already in the first few minutes here.
In the Greenville Tormenta game, it seemed like they were letting the players play a lot in that match early on, but now we're seeing the contrast trying to set the tone maybe from the referee early on. Cleared into the afternoon. Kirk comes up to handle it, at least a volley downfield.
It's a good thing he didn't handle it. Paul Klaus pulled out of that tackle there. He knew one more, he was definitely going to get a card.
Moshabane, who had a goal of his own in that Lansing win last week. Oh, late collision there by Robinson, and a foul is called. No check on him. It's once again Gomez down on the ground. A heavy collision. Taking a look at this one.
No nonsense there by Emmanuel Robinson. That's making your presence felt here in the early part of this game. And if Peralta doesn't pull out a yellow here, I'll be very surprised. He's got to take control of this contest.
Heavy challenge at home here early on, and Robinson and talking to on the side, and there's that yellow card, first of the match for either side. Robinson only played 12 minutes in the loss to Tormenta, being subbed on late in that match.
In the 6th minute, the referee has issued a caution to number 31 for the Triumph, Edmundo Robinson.
Crowd disapproving. But it was coming. It was just a yellow of accumulation, really, on these early fouls by the Triumph.
It'll be Stoneman standing over the ball, ready to take it. Loyola Chicago player takes it over, send it up the field. Greenville almost getting it back. Lansing not able to make an attack in the opposite final third yet in this match. As they spread things out to the right side, Carr takes over. Greenville, the quick interception. This is kind of interesting, though. Greenville putting on the full press against Lansing so far. They're forcing Lansing to hold the ball, which we saw them struggle with possession in the final 20 minutes of last week's match.
Yeah, I love this tactic from John Harks. Coming out and taking the press straight to Lansing and giving them a bit of their own medicine.
Back all the way through to Dallas J. As Polak, the left back in today's formation, will get the deflection out of play for a throw-in in the 9th minute. Select is the official ball supplier of USL League One and many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit SelectSportAmerica.com. Settled by Moshabane. He'll work the right side. Nick Moon moving the ball up. Floats it in there, but grabbed out of the air by Jay. A big stop as Lopez Espin was in the area.
Yeah, he's a big target at 6'3", Lopez Espin, and Moon was looking for him there, but Dallas Jay out nicely to claim that one.
Headed down by Stoneman. Keegan in the area, but Lansing able to get it back down.
And Lansing's going to have to be careful with those knockbacks. Jake Keegan jump on anything back there and he'll put it away in no time if you give him the opportunity.
Quick interception by Walker there, the former FC Cincinnati player.
Yeah, you know about Harks' FC Cincinnati connections in this team, but Nate Miller also has a bunch of guys from his former Lansing United side as well, so there's some familiarity there as well.
Robinson flipped up a bit there. Sends a cross in, out of play off of Stoneman in the first corner kick at home here for Greenville Triumph SC here in the 11th minute.
Yeah, we'll see who comes forward here for Greenville.
They had 6 against Tormenta last week. Unable to do much with them.
Not the tallest team in the world, but Evan Lee does have an aerial presence in there. You see him coming there up to the penalty spot.
11th minute, 0-0 from Greenville, South Carolina. Sent in towards the far post. Hit down, header, but wide of the near post. That'll be a goal kick here for Lansing.
Lansing scored a back post header goal last week. Greenville trying to do the same here with that first corner, but didn't quite work out.
There's a free kick on that one for Lansing. Gomez over to Koifik. Intercepted again there. Brief touch in the end by Klaus. And back come Greenville. Bermudez sends it off, deflected away. Now Walker has a go. And right into the arms of Kirk.
This press is proving to be particularly effective. Great tactic, as I said earlier, by Harks. We didn't see any of it last week, really, from Greenville in that slightly different formation. But with this 3 up front, he could afford to push him high, and that was almost a goal produced by that press. Nice strike there. A little too close, to, obviously, to Mike Kirk.
Headed up by Lee, the former Richmond kicker. Bermudez tugged down. No call there. Cuts inside. Heavy challenge. And a foul is called as Bermudez is down. Lansing went for the kick there. It'll be a free kick the way of Greenville.
Saw sparks of this from Bermudez, the 19-year-old last week. Great ball skill, pace. One of the guys that came through the open tryout. Now he's getting a chance in this game to push a little further forward. Showed some great quick feet here. Let's take a look at that one. Nice move there, taking on 3, and that was clipped. He would have taken on the 3rd. Ignite player, but was clipped on the way through.
Spent last season in the Mexican 3rd division among some of the lower teams in Mexico, but pretty well-known name in the New York Red Bull Academy, 2015 and 2017, but out of the States, and I guess people forgot about him. Now he's trying to make a name for himself with some of his dribbling ability, now from the forward spot.
Obviously showing his versatility here in these first couple of games. He was right wing back last week, and now pushing up as the left winger.
So free kick here for the home side in the 14th minute. Sent into the box, headed away. Nice stop by Koifik. Back in there, again volleyed away. Oof. And a heavy challenge, high boot, and Greenville gets the free kick. And it's Richie Perez there who went for the volley and collided with his opponent. And it's Walker that was down. It'll be a yellow card now to the opponent as Perez is in the books.
Not sure what Perez is complaining about there. No matter if contact was made, that foot was definitely high.
He might be saying, what am I supposed to do there? But obviously there's not much. That's a dangerous high boot.
I mean, he was committed, and Walker did come in low with the head, but you're still responsible. Once you lift that foot, you're responsible for the opposition's safety. Walker has when the ball's in the air like that, Walker has all the rights in the world to come in with his head. Dangerous spot here for Greenville.
There's 2 players in the Lansing wall. You have one of the tallest players and one of the shorter players. It's Lopez Espin and Celso. As Greenville has the free kick. Chipped in there by Walker. Left side going down the box is Lee, no call. And it's a Lansing goal kick after all that.
Yeah, he didn't complain too much after he got up. Used to stumble on this turf.
Kirk taking his time surveying the area. Had a save in the win over Richmond. Head up and out of play by Paulitz. He'll stay with Lansing Ignite just 1 time in the opposing box so far. Stoneman knocks it ahead. and back through the Greenville back line.
And Greenville looked the better of the two teams here in the early 15 minutes. I mentioned to you before the game that Richmond last week took them a half hour to get only a couple of touches in the box. Now it's gone the opposite way with Lansing struggling to get the ball into that final third with much effectiveness.
Ignite seeing a bit more possession. Goes through towards Robinson. The forward will knock it ahead. Gadiri made the run, but Moshabani getting it back. Flex off Celso on his run.
That's the first hit we just saw there of that Moshabani-Celso connection that was so effective last week.
And multiple chances coming in from the left flank. And Coach Nate Miller telling us this week that the Haitian 19-year-old does not play like a 19-year-old, and we saw that in the win against Richmond.
Some of these young kids come in here with no fear, even if it is your first new sniff at the professional side of things. He's done well so far. He's got the creativeness and the ability.
Throwing on the far side for Lansing Ignite. Up and out of play. It'll be a throw in now for Lansing again as they move the troops up the field. Nick Moon on the far side. Headed on, it'll be a run now from Celso against Lee. Knotted down, out of play, and a goal kick coming for Greenville.
So Celso pop up on the right side there. He's always going to be given that free roll to play across the field wherever he finds the best openings.
Seiler drives it downfield. Keegan in the area, but cleared just in time by Lansing. Polak drives that out of play and throw in for Lansing. Fans follow Greenville and the rest of USL League One all season long on ESPN Plus, home to the USL, MLS, UFC, and more. Join the over 2 million sports fans who have already discovered ESPN Plus and watch League One live every week. Sign up today at espnplus.com. And of course, just announced in the last few days, the Open Cup coming to ESPN Plus, which I can say as someone who covered many of these teams in League Two, very exciting to see some of these lower level teams in domestic American soccer getting some light on them. As coming in there again is a chance from Klaus, but they'll knock it down to Polak. Sends in the cross, headed away in the end by the Lansing back line. Lopez Espin settles it. Chipped ahead by Carr. Up and out of play, grabbed by Polak. He will have the throw-in.
Yeah, Greenville looking a lot more dangerous in this new formation in the final third than they were last week. Most of their chances sort of came off half chances other than the one from that throw from Polak that was whizzed wide by Jay Keegan. They've looked a lot more effective here with the ball in the final third. A lot more settled, a lot more bodies in there.
Flicked on, nice run by Keegan. Former St. Patrick's athletic player driving it. Deflection out of play and a corner kick coming for Greenville once again. Looks like Paul Klaus will head over and take it. 32nd pick in 2016 by DC United. Actually will be a long throw-in.
Played just down the road from where he played his college ball.
Long throw-in by midfielder, knocked down by Kirk, trying to get some help from his defense. Robinson got off a chance, and they're going to say it went off of Celso. Now a corner kick for Greenville.
We didn't see much of this long throw stuff from Klaus last week, but he's targeting Evan Lee there, and Evan Lee he didn't get the best of touches on that one. Maybe put enough pressure on Mike Kirk and forced the corner.
It's interesting strategy there by Kirk, the keeper, though. Well outside the near post, but he went diving out there.
Yeah, he's not afraid to come out, Mike Kirk. He's not the tallest keeper in the world. A good physical presence and a good with both his hands, too, whether it's punching or catching.
Klaus, 10 assists in his career at Clemson. Ball sent in centrally, headed up, stays in play. Here comes Kirk, and he dodges another opportunity from Seiler as he drives that downfield. Out of play. Walker guiding it there, and Celso not able to get it.
I've already mentioned Ricky Lopez-Espin yet. That's a good thing for Greenville.
Yeah, they haven't had nearly enough possession in the opposite final third. It's been mostly Greenville dictating things. Balls through. Bermudez cutting inside. Ball sent in, long one. One hops right to Kirk as Keegan was in the area.
Despite the 1-0 loss last week, Greenville really bossed that game. See just a late counter-attack goal that did them in. Let's take another look at that shot there. Played in by Robinson, looking for Keegan. And got a shove in the back there from an Ignite defender, but didn't complain too much when he got up.
And not enough there for a penalty. Ball over the top, left side. It will be settled by Robinson. Looking for some help inside the box. He'll send it in there. Bermudez will retrieve it on the other side. Sent in there, up and over the crossbar. Dangerous chance, but well off target.
Yeah, we see here that Bermudez and Robinson appear to have switched sides now. Here's Bermudez again, who was so effective on the right-hand side last week. Nice left-footed shot there, well over Kirk's bar.
He dove for it, but not needing to in the end. 23rd minute, 0-0 here from Greenville, South Carolina. I'm Chris McCovic, alongside me, Ross Davenport, bringing the action from Legacy Early College. Knocked over the top, but Kirk playing sweeper keeper. Not to his own team's liking, though. Bermudez comes on it, drives it in, but grabbed by Kirk. Almost a big break for Greenville.
Yeah, Kirk did well initially with his positioning, and it looked like he was going to make a simple clearance, but shanked it completely to Bermudez, who wasted that one a little bit.
Lansing had to deal with the wind up against the Richmond Kickers at City Stadium, and also today against Greenville. Over the top, Bermudez and also Keegan there, but Kirk once again will knock it downfield.
We talked to Coach Harks last week about, during the week, about we switched Evan Lee and Kevin Politz early in the first half, and he's done the same thing again here with Robinson and Bermudez, and we asked him why. He just said, you know, sometimes games dictate certain changes, and he felt that was going to be the right decision, and we'll see if the Bermudez one works out here. He was pretty effective early down the left, but Coach Harks must be seeing something.
Foul called against Lansing. Here's Walker. Knocked up ahead. Here comes Paulitz. Drives in across, but blocked by the opposite number, Stoneman. Throw in coming on the near side.
Lovely one-touch pass there by Bermudez to the overlapping Paulitz. Exactly what Coach Harks will be wanting to see from him again. Paulitz not as much of a forward threat as Tyler Pollock is on the other side, but showing that he can get forward when he wants to.
And here's Klaus again with a throw, and he goes short this time. Paulitz knocks it over. Gadiri chips it in towards the far post. Kirk flies in, grabs it out of the air.
Stands on the far side now, filling up nicely.
A nice crowd out there. Inaugural home match for Greenville Triumph SC.
It's about wanting to sell out the Legacy, and they've come pretty close.
Lansing some room maybe to roam. Oshabane. And Carl worked it out wide to Koifik.
I was impressed by Kyle Carr last week. Gets around the pitch, does Kyle Carr. Real box-to-box midfielder.
Lopez Espin takes a tumble there. No call on that one. All ball, says the referee, as Kadiri takes over.
It's a long trip down from Lansing, and they still look like they're trying to work off the cobwebs from that trip here in the first opening 25 minutes. Really haven't got anything established in that final third as of yet.
And one of the big differences between Alex Bruce and Ricky Lopez Espin are their tactics in playing on the field. And Lopez Espin just has not had enough time to hold up the ball, or opportunities to hold up the ball, really do what he does best, as that goes out. Now they're going to say for a corner kick for Greenville.
Yeah, Lopez Espin definitely a bit more of a target guy.
Well, the way things are going right now, Alex Bruce would probably be the better option, like last week against Richmond.
Yeah, we'll see how long Nate Miller lasts. I'm sure he's
Corner kick for Greenville.
Give Lopez Espin at least 50, 60 minutes to get himself into the game, or get the whole team into the game at this point. It's very tight here in the corner.
There's that 1961 Triumph car that we talked about, by the way. See if they can get a goal in front of it. Headed down, chance at the break maybe for Lansing. Here comes Lopez Espin. The run from Moshe Bane on the opposite side. Greenville defenders getting back. He's trapped a bit, looking for some options. Sends it back across. Falls there on the near post. Chance coming. In it goes for Lopez Espin. His first start for Lansing, and he makes it count on the road. And just like that, so much possession for Greenville, but it's the opposing side that gets on the board.
Well, it's a repeat of last week. Greenville Triumph's defense got caught too far up on the counter, and Moshe Bani had a ton of space. Looked over to the far post and found Lopez Espin, who could have pulled it back to Sosa. It was an acre of space, but it was a nice finish instead by the Miami native.
2017 Big East Conference Player of the Year. Gets his account going here in League One.
Tyler Pollack lost track of him a little bit. Wasn't the best hit ball in the world, but off this turf it skipped past Dallas J into the back of the net. Lansing off to out of nowhere with a 1-0 lead.
That's exactly how they got started against Richmond as well on the counterattack. And you know why he scored is because I was criticizing his play a bit because he didn't get many opportunities. Well, he got an opportunity and he made it count on the break.
So those strikers you just need that one opportunity, and even though it was a bit of a scuffed shot with his left foot, it was enough to get past Dallas J.
Ball over the top. Bermuda is finding plenty of room still on this right flank. Out of play, throw-in coming, and that means Paul Clowes will come up and take it. As you see on the scoreboard right there, 8 shots for Triumph, just 1 for the Ignite, and that one a goal.
Yeah, Greenville don't have to be too worried yet. There's a good reason they dominated that first 25 minutes. They've created plenty of half chances. They haven't had a real quality chance yet, but lots of time to pull one of those off.
Long throw in towards the end line, 1 hops and into the side netting, so it'll be a goal kick for Kirk.
Definitely quieting the crowd down that goal, that's for sure. Taking a bit of the shine off this home opener, but as I said, 60 minutes to get themselves back into this one.
Lopez Espin, former Creighton University player and LAFC player, let go just before the season started and made his way up to Lansing.
That's what this League One is going to be great for. These guys that have been let go perhaps by MLS or US Championship, USL Championship teams, not given the opportunity. They think they should come into this league with a chip on their shoulder. Lopez Espin is a perfect example of that. Off to a good start here in his first start.
Foul called. Push in the back as it'll be a free kick for Lansing. Headed up onto the run of Celso into the box all of a sudden. Looking for some help. He's brought down, and a no call there for the penalty opportunity. Referee waving it off, but you can see what Celso was thinking.
Yeah, I think he was caught in two minds, whether to have a strike at it or pull it back, and he ended up doing neither and just got muscled off the ball.
That goal occurred from Lansing, and all of a sudden now dictating things. Here's another look.
Yeah, he couldn't really get the ball on his preferred right foot, and then he left it behind a little bit. No penalty there.
It seemed like he wanted Lopez Espin to make a run further away from him, but just didn't happen there. Paulitz. Stoneman. Fricky looking to service it downfield. He will on a low pass instead.
Yeah, Ignite really starting to settle into this one now. Finding their spacing.
Got some confidence on that transition. Knocked down. Here comes Celso on the right flank.
Harks wanted the handball, didn't get it.
Flicked up ahead. Bermuda is trying to make the run, but cleared away.
Yeah, this game's opened up now here since that goal. Both teams finding themselves a little more space.
Klaus passed it off, and now Greenville back in possession. Deary trying the left flank. Polak makes the run down there.
Beautiful pass there by Kadiri.
Celso able to pick the ball away in the form of a throw-in.
John Harks upset again. He's not having much fun with the officials here in these first game and this first game and a half of the season.
Lansing taking their time. Up 1-0 on the road. Of course, return home for their inaugural home match next Saturday. They face Richmond Kickers again, just like that. Of course, 3 more points today will put them nearly top of the table, right by Tormenta FC.
You wonder if having the late home opener like that, the third game, takes a little bit of the pressure off. You know, whatever you can get on the road, coming back into that game with the thrill of the home opener regardless, but if you come back with 6 points, Stephen Bedford, that's a nasty foul there.
Pretty obvious foul on the left flank, and that'll give a free kick for Greenville. As it's Robinson winning the foul. Take another look at this one.
Yeah, Goyfit committed with the lunge in, and Robinson had knocked it back in the inside. And that was a foul. Not as nasty as it looked at first, but see if Tyler Pollack can whip one in here.
2-man wall for Lansing. Klaus and also Pollack standing over it. Sent in there and saved in the end at the near post by Kirk after the collision.
Somebody followed up, and referee Jasmine Prato is going to have a word. Not sure which Greenville striker almost got a touch on that, perhaps Jack Keegan. Mike Kirk had to wait to see if he was going to get a touch. There was a nice save in the end on the whipped in free kick by Klaus.
And he'll get a chance to take a breather here.
Yellow card to somebody on the follow-up, I think.
Trying to control things here.
In the 35th minute, caution issued to Greenville's number 14, Cole Seiler.
So Seiler gets the yellow on that follow-up. That's a big yellow card there for the center back.
Yeah, it's good to see a center back following up, though, but you've got to be careful once that goalkeeper gets those hands on it.
Lansing trying to string some passes together. Ball over the top into the box. It's a long one towards Moshe Bane, but he halted his run just outside the 18. Reedy River Riot cheering on Dallas J. He keeps taking these short goal kicks, and I'm sure that doesn't make them too happy. Want to get that cheer going.
Well, it's an interesting tactic, the fact that Lansing likes to press, and you're trying to play your way out from the back. If you can do it, by all means, but taking a risk with the amount of firepower this Ignite team has, and giving that ball away. We saw what they did against Richmond last week.
Yeah.
When given half a chance. Nice there.
Robinson the steal. Through ball up ahead, and Kirk leaps on it.
Yeah, you see Sammy Gadiri's upset there. The ball should have been over to the right. He was not wide open, but he had enough space to give that one in the channel to Gadiri. But perhaps next time he'll take another look to his right instead of his left. It was good, definitely a good play by Amanda Robinson to open things up, though.
Ball going the other way with Lansing. Taking another look here as Bermudez came barreling down towards Kirk. Leaped over him a bit there. Throwing again for Ignite on the far side. 37th minute now as we tick towards halftime. Out of play off of Moshe Bane. Still trying to exploit that left flank, but unable to.
Evan Lee looking like a striker.
A nice little run by the center back. He'll lay off to Walker. Here's Paulitz, former New York Red Bulls 2 player.
So Bermudez and Robinson switch back sides again.
Line the call there against Xavier Gomez, not getting it. He'll get the ball right back instead, takes a tumble, and a foul called against Robinson as he fell on top of the ball.
Yeah, don't pick that ball up till you hear that whistle, Mr. Robinson. Won't like that one when he sees it back on replay tomorrow.
Take another look here in his case for the foul.
No, he just slipped on the turf. No doubt about that. He wanted the foul, but the initial... He may have been helped on the way down, but the initial issue was the fact that he slipped on this Legacy Early turf.
Yeah, it looked like 50-50 shoulder to shoulder, but as you said, when you fall on top of the ball, referee has to stop play. And another foul called. Bermudez is down once again.
He's going to have some bruises tomorrow, Chris Bermudez. He's spent a couple of times on the turf so far tonight, but still impressed so far. Yeah, they're both going for that with the high foot. I think the call there was because Kyle Carr had his studs up. Wayne Rooney will tell us all about studs up tackles, I'm sure, after that red card today. Jeez.
Yeah, going off the pitch in a commanding victory for LAFC and MLS. Ball sent deep into the box. Seiler was there, nodded down to Moshe Bane. Gomez.
Nice work from Gomez there.
Nice little flick by Moshe Bane. Late challenge there by Carr, dangerous one. Flicked wide, knocked forward by Robinson. He's brought down on a late challenge in the back. And a yellow card will be issued to Grant Stoneman, his second of the season.
Grant Stoneman is very lucky that he had some defensive help coming over from the inside. Otherwise, that could well have been a red card. Robinson could have potentially been on goal, but there was some Ignite players coming back to cover. He'll take the yellow, I'm sure, as a professional foul. Yeah. He had some covering help for sure. I think Robinson was probably asking for the red, but he'll take the yellow.
Robinson probably could have kept going, but in the end, if he would have kept that run going, no foul, then Koifik would have certainly gotten there in time. So a smart take on that foul by Robinson, and a free kick once again for Greenville here in the 40th. Down 1-0 to Lansing on the Lopez Espin goal.
Tyler Pollock might want to put this one just in front of the penalty spot. Trying to get Mike Kirk in two minds, perhaps.
Pollock takes it. Bends towards the far post. Kirk is there, commanding his line. And he'll take it in, looking to spur on Lansing quickly.
Yeah, played him with a little, perhaps too much pace there for Polak. And Kirk made the right decision and came out to claim.
Now look at this one. Good ball, but no one making the run there. If Keegan maybe continued his run, would have been there.
Yeah, or a little lower perhaps to Bermudez. It was just sort of, ball was a little bit in no man's land between the two of them in the end.
Triumph right back with it.
Triumph's starting to play this one, play their way back into this one a little bit after that goal.
Seiler, nice little cutback. Fresh out of Anderson, South Carolina, so game in his own backyard.
Sure, he's got plenty of family and friends in the crowd tonight. One thing I will say with these Lansing Ignite socks, the players with black boots, it looks like they're wearing long boots. It's confusing me a little bit. It's almost like the Manchester United shorts. Shirt combination, looks like they're wearing long shorts.
Headed down, heavy challenge, but no call there as the ball's headed and then kicked downfield. Lopez Espin gets collided into. See what the call is here. And we'll go back to Greenville.
Not sure which foul Jasmine Peralta's going to call. She was out of the picture, but Lopez Espin took one on the nose.
Take another look here.
Oh, yeah, a little shoulder to the nose. Good play there by Kevin Pollis, though. He was known at his time as Wake Forest for being a physical fullback, and showed there he's not afraid to mix it up with a 6'3" attacker.
Yeah, Paul, it's the ACC's Defensive Player of the Year in 2017. Headed on, but Kirk right there. And almost falling outside the box there. .43rd minute, 1-0 Lansing. Coming up at halftime, we'll have a look at around the league from week 1. Along with a unique look at Birmingham Legion's game day festivities in the USL Championship, new squad. Lopez Espin coming all the way back to help out the midfield. Held up by Keegan. Greenville may be looking for one more potent attack. Celso, nice piece of footwork there around Walker. Stoneman. Carr. Some room opening up. Celso worked the right flank. Moon on the far side, cutting in. Looking maybe for the chance, takes it, deflected back. Falls right to Perez. The header a little bit off. Keegan knocks it ahead, something brewing for the Triumph. Bermudez towards the box, puts it across. Kirk after, back over by Keegan, saved over the crossbar, or just wide of the goal. A corner kick coming for Greenville.
Unbelievable stop there. Jake Keegan doesn't miss many from chances, and that was a beautiful ball in by Bermudez. Maybe a little wide, but Keegan got a good left foot on it. And what a clearance by Kevin Koifig.
Straight up there on the volley.
Coming across from his left back position to help out. Stellar
Corner
stop by
for
Koifig
the
on the
Triumph.
goal line.
A big save by the defender. Kirk was off his line. Ball sent in. Back post headed up and stays in play off of Lee. Bermudez trying to keep it in play, but it goes out for a throw-in. We'll see how much stoppage time comes up. But maybe the final chance here in the first half for Greenville to equalize. Klaus. Headed up. Dangerous ball. Flicked out of the air by Keegan. Looks for the chance. Still bouncing around.
He thought about the bicycle for half a second.
Now Lee takes a shot. Goes awry. Flicked in, and Kirk will grab onto it. Lansing player down, holding his head away from the play. There was a collision. And looks like we're hearing from the sidelines 3 minutes of stoppage time.
The fourth official has indicated there will be a minimum of 3 minutes of stoppage time.
See which player is down. And for Lansing, down now is their captain, Fricky.
I'm not sure exactly what happened here. See if we can see on the replay.
Seemed like it was off the ball.
Fricky's coming out here on the maybe on the potential goal on the bicycle kick. No. Oh, took a ball in the face. Yeah, from close range. Didn't see that on the initial play. Those will hurt. Should be all right though.
Good deflection, I guess, by Fricky, but in the end, good to see him walking off pitch. How about that polo for the trainer?
Sharp.
That's a sharp one. But it would be a big loss for Lansing. The captain unable to return.
He should have come off for the one play because they had to stop the game for him. Get back on in the second here.
Greenville really had things going at that point before the injury occurred. And Kirk and Lansing will just be looking to take this into the half. So far, 8 shots for Greenville, just 2 for Lansing. Of course, one of them being a goal at this point. It's been all Greenville, which was kind of the story against Tormenta. Replicating itself here.
Yeah, just still missing that cohesiveness in the final third. Jake Keegan's had a few more chances with the loose balls tonight because of where he's playing in that solo position up front, but just haven't been able to get it going consistently yet.
Well, their tactics working where if Keegan's playing as a number 9 up top, they can spur Bermudez up and around, and that's worked so far. Celso falls there off the ball, out of play. Another throw in for Lansing, as we're in the 45th +3.
Yeah, that last chance we saw that was cleared off the line, Bermudez took an Keegan connection. That was really the best one we've seen so far. You know, John Harks would love to see that partnership getting going as soon as he can.
Robinson, bicycle kick, clears it, and that'll give the fans some energy. Headed up and out of play. Dallas J will at least get to take this goal kick.
Yeah, only the one shot on goal tonight for the Ignite, so quiet night so far for Dallas J. Though he'd certainly rather be up 1-0.
The whistle blew there. Some of the players thought it was halftime. No, that's a foul. Greenville might have a chance now to bat this into the box for one final chance. Ball sent in, headed away by Lansing back line.
Nice.
Bermudez the back heel. Walker sends it in there. Headed on, the chance going wide right. And a goal kick will come for Lansing. And we'll have halftime just with that. So Lansing up 1-0 at the break, Ross, despite not getting nearly as many chances. So Triumph now back where they started last week.
Yep, 9 shots on goal. Excuse me, 9 shots, 3 of them on target for Greenville. Just yet to find that real offense, that real edge, that killer edge, that killer instinct in the final third yet.
So far, the difference, that man, Ricky Lopez Espin, in his first start for Lansing, getting a goal on the breakaway. And they're up 1-0 at the break, looking for another 3 points in the standings after their win last week. They're coming back in the second half. We'll see if Greenville can respond and maybe get the 3 points at home. But as we continue halftime, we'll take a look at Week 1 in USL League 1. One with a unique look at Birmingham Legion's game day festivities as they continue in their first season of the USL Championship. Welcome back to halftime here in Greenville. Now let's take a look through the inaugural weekend of League One, Ross, where Clemente got things going in Statesboro, Georgia. Fantastic fanfare all around. Sellout crowd, over 3,500 fans there in South Georgia.
Yeah, it was great to see Tormentor start off with a win. Pablo Hara coming up here had a nice little punch away and had a great late save as well early on to preserve the victory.
Yeah, Hara ended up on the league team of the week for his defensive efforts. Along with Marco Micheletto, who put a great run on this one, created some fantastic chances in the match, including this one to Morel.
Yeah, superb run, caught the Greenville defense up a little too far. A nice finish there by Morel.
And he, of course, the answer to the ultimate trivia question, who scored the first goal in League One history, Alex Morel, the former Tampa Bay Rowdy, giving those fans in the sellout crowd a reason to celebrate as they headed further into the following week, where they took on Richmond here today, a Red Army backed squad that got things going from their history back in USL Championship, but a new era for them in League One, new ownership, and they really gave their own fans a reason to celebrate in the second half.
Yep, Lansing got off to a very quick start, getting up 3-0 in this one, but Richmond hit back and scored too late to make it a game.
And they made Lansing really think about things as they headed towards the 90th minute, but ultimately it was Ignite that really got things done with their offense, making a case for one of the favorites in the league this season.
Yeah, with their press and their finishing ability, they're going to be a threat to win this title, no doubt.
As they continue into their matchup today against Greenville Triumph, trying to finish this one out, as Orlando City B also got a tally of their own in their matchup, but it came late in this one as they battled FC Tucson in their great offense that night.
Yeah, it's good to see OCB back. Obviously lost this first one, but see if they can come back again, get back on the winning side of things. Yeah,
also losing last night to Toronto FC2, but it was Ricardo Pepe, only name you really need to know out of Frisco, Texas, the FC Dallas Academy prospect, coming up big for North Texas SC.
What a night for the 16-year-old. Most 16-year-olds sitting home playing video games, not this guy, scoring hat tricks in League One.
He was called up to the U17 USA national team, but Chattanooga making a case late. They got two back, one courtesy of Richard Dixon on a diving header there, but ultimately it was Pepe and North Texas SC that had the final say.
Yep, nice finish here by Pepe. He's not going to score many easier than that.
That's for sure, as we'll keep an eye on him in League One this season. We'll look at this week's scoreboard and the schedule ahead after this break as we take you to Birmingham and a new side with a cool.
If there's one thing with USL Championship clubs, it's that they have a way to make the experience unique to their clubs. I'm on site here at PBVA Compass Field in Birmingham to talk a little bit about this iron factory they have on site. I'm joined by Marshall, the director of metal arts at Sloss Furnaces. So, Marshall, first off, tell us what an ingot is.
Okay. So an ingot is basically just a unit of iron.
Okay.
So it's just a way to make the iron portable and mobile and in a manner that can be sold.
Okay.
So the process that we're going to be doing in-game is a little bit different than the casting process. This is a forge setup. So typically used for blacksmithing. You're typically not trying to completely melt what you're working with. You're just raising the temperature enough that it can be malleable.
Okay.
So what we're going to be doing throughout the game is taking one of these in our forge and getting it up to temperature red hot and having that on standby so that when we score a goal, we'll take it out of the forge, over to the ingot, and we have a special die with a spark on it off of the Legion logo.
Right.
And that'll be placed on it and struck with a hammer. It's a two-man operation. When we're ready, the assistant will take that. They'll take the die and put it in place, and then the other person will strike it with a hammer. So each goal that's scored will get a mark, hopefully a lot of them.
Yeah.
And so we have one for each game.
Okay.
So to have the team that they're playing, and so throughout the season, throughout the years, we'll begin to accumulate these and create an iron wall back here with each ingot from the games.
That's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
How cool is that for people to come in too and kind of see this little, you know, characteristic of Birmingham?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Hammer down! You know, they can tell how hot the steel is by the color.
Got it.
Burning up, red hot.
Welcome back here into Greenville, South Carolina, as we take a look at news and notes from around the league for these first 2 weeks of USL League One. And featured here, Alex Morel getting the first goal in League One history. Tormenta starting off the season pretty well. They're at 7 points now with the draw today against Richmond.
Yeah, it was a nice goal, nice run by Micheletto, and played the ball back to Alex Morel, who, the first game ever in history, you think the pressure would be on, but he slotted it away nicely.
And also Pepe, who we just mentioned to you, who is player of the week for obvious reasons this week.
Yep, 16-year-old and you score a hat-trick. Player of the week's going to be a no-doubter.
Right now, forward Madison tied 0-0 with Chattanooga. Also, Toronto FC2 getting a win in their inaugural match in League One yesterday against Orlando City B. On the scoreboard currently now, just mentioned 0-0 right now between Madison and Chattanooga. Surprising result kind of for Richmond and Tormenta. Tormenta, you have to keep in mind, though, their third match in 8 days.
Yeah, way to start the season. You come out and play that many games in a row. And a long bus ride as well doesn't help.
Yeah, for sure. Of course, Ross and I will be back with you for Greenville and Chattanooga next Saturday coming up. And along with Greenville and Chattanooga, Lansing facing Richmond for a second time in 3 weeks. Also, Madison and North Texas will go at it. Tucson, Toronto, and Orlando City B and Tormenta will battle on Sunday.
Yep, 7 o'clock and then 10:20. You can spend most of your evening watching soccer next weekend on ESPN+.
Yeah, if you're a USL League One fan, sit on your couch, make a good meal, and settle in for some great action as we finally get some tape on a lot of these teams and get to know them as we head into the second half. Ross and I will be back with the second half action in just a few moments from Greenville, South Carolina, as the Triumph look to get a goal back against Lansing. Welcome back here into Greenville, South Carolina. Let's take a look at our first half highlights here, Ross. There was the Triumph starting out their first match here at home.
Yeah, Greenville really dominated this first 20 minutes. Shot on target there by Aaron Walker, but straight at Mike Kirk.
Pretty easy going first half for him as Greenville kept banging in crosses, but a one hop there for Kirk. Plenty of chances for Greenville, putting some pressure on the opposing goalkeeper, especially Bermudez bearing down from the right flank. Here's a cross inside, but grabbed right out of the air.
They've been threatened, but not creating any real decent scoring chances. And then here comes the break from Lansing.
And as if on cue from their win last week, 3-2 at Richmond, Moshe Bane and the Lansing offense hook up here on the counterattack. Over to Lopez Espin, an easy drill at that one.
Moshe Bane did real well there. We'll see it again here. He holds up the ball. Didn't have any help at that point. Keeps the defenders guessing. And a beautiful little chip to the far post. I'm not even sure if he even ever looked up to see where Lopez Espin was, but he did enough in a scuffed left foot shot past Dallas J on the turf.
Jay and Pollock not able to get a touch to the ball as Lopez Espin finds the back of the net for the first time in a Lansing uniform, putting them up 1-0 on the road. Kirk would grab this one as Bermudez takes a tumble as Greenville would continue the attack on the opposite end, but unable to find much of the ball towards the box.
This was the best chance for Greenville, really. Nice run by Bermudez, and the return ball to Keegan was a little out wide, but left shot was on target. Left foot shot was on target. What a clearance by Kevin Koifig, sacrificing himself into the post.
Save of the week usually goes to a goalkeeper, but I'll put Koifig up this week for
he should definitely be amongst the contenders, that's for sure.
As we take a look now at our halftime stats, Koifig, the Frenchman, keeping Greenville off the board, but just like that, Ross, 10 shots to just 2 for Lansing.
Yeah, but 10 shots of how much quality? The 3 shots on target, you know. Only the one of them was the real golden chance at the end there. A couple of soft ones. Right at Mark Kirk, but the possession is good. And again, Greenville looking like the home team that, as they are tonight. They did last week away from home. And again, just not creating enough quality shots.
Little testy early on as well between Greenville and Lansing. Early yellow cards, 2 apiece at this point. As fans selling into that beer garden that Greenville Triumph SC built out there on Legacy Early College.
It's like a beautiful evening.
A beautiful one for soccer. Great fans out, too. Reedy River Riot as well, chanting the entire half. As the Triumph will look to respond into the second half. I'm Chris McCovic alongside me, Ross Davenport, if you're just joining us. The Tormenta FC currently at the top of the League One standings with 7 points after their draw with Richmond today. Lansing looking to stay step for step with Tormenta with another 3 points. They're in place for that so far. That would put them at 6 at the end of the night. Now, Greenville just looking for the first point in League One play after the 1-0 loss to Tormenta last week.
Crowd getting fired up for some t-shirts. Hopefully they get fired up with an early goal by their boys in green and blue here.
A good atmosphere for Greenville Triumph, and they'll be at home for quite a while. The next 2 Saturdays off home matches, Chattanooga and then Richmond on the 20th. Lopez Espin will start with the ball at the center circle.
So we got a change for Greenville. Carlos Gomez is on. I just saw the number 10 go flashing by my screen. We'll see who he's on for exactly. There you go.
Is number 10, Carlos Gomez.
Yeah, Gomez was impressive last week after he came off the bench against Tormenta. Very quick feet and almost created that. Well, did create that scoring chance for close. That amazing save by Hara.
Speaking of scoring chances, here comes Moshe Bane and Lopez Espin, as it was Jay making the dive, but not needed at the end of the day. Moon will drive it back, and Lansing coming out firing here from the break. Here come the Triumph looking to respond. Bermudez starting out on the left flank. As it is Gomez coming in here at the halfway point. 3-year starter at the University of Nebraska, Omaha, and draft pick for Minnesota United. Pollock down the left, the left flank, if I can get my directions straight. Keegan.
It looks like Gomez Might be starting in where Robinson was, and he's moved to the right. And so Chris Bermudez might be playing a bit of more of a central role here. We'll see.
So John Harkes not waiting any longer to try and change things up out there. Played with a 3-back line last week, 4-back line here tonight.
So looks like Bermudez still on the left with Gomez slotting in just behind him.
Ball to the top. Robinson, right side of the box, sends it across, but a bit too far past Bermudez as Kirk. It's just a no man's land there. Lansing throwing coming.
Nice work there again by Amanda. Robinson showed his dangerous talent so far tonight. That was a nice little ball across, just a little too much gas on it. Had to have gas on it to get past those two Lansing Ignite defenders though, and Bermudez the thumbs up, appreciating the effort by Robinson.
Klaus. Deflected away by Carr.
Wanted the handball, but no call.
Knocked down there. Foul going the way of Lansing Ignite. Or excuse me, Greenville Triumph. As Celso is called there for a tackle. Klaus will take it. Plenty of set pieces in that first half too for Greenville Triumph.
The thing with set pieces is chances of you getting one right eventually, the more you have are good. So we'll see if Klaus can get the good delivery on this one towards the far post perhaps.
Sends it in there, headed away by Lansing.
I will say Lansing have defended the set piece as well as.
Heavy collision on the aerial ball. And back to Walker. That'll be Stoneman on the far side taking over. Yellow card for him in the first half. Shabane. Back through the defense. Now Carr. Liberty University player. Celso with the run. Deflected over the entire box. Back to Moon.
Say Ignite flooding numbers forward here.
Moon knocks it inside the box. Driven and saved at the near post by Jay. It's a corner kick coming for Lansing Ignite.
First save of the night for Dallas Jay, and a good one. Let's take another look at it.
Corner kick for the Ignite.
There it is.
Gomez.
Gomez had a goal last week in the win over Richmond. 24-year-old of Chicago.
That was a good save by Dallas Jay, especially considering he didn't do much the first half and just coming out cold here. He had to get low down to parry that one away.
Gomez had an assist on a set piece last week. We'll see if he can get one here, up 1-0. Gomez sends the ball in. Centrally headed down, not on target, as Lee will take it in. Looking to spur the break. Celso right next to him.
Oh.
Down the left flank. Celso will keep it in play. Actually, he'll rule it out. And back to Greenville.
These advertising boards are a little close to the sideline here at Legacy Early, and Evan Lee just felt there on that collision. Looks like he's okay though.
Referee having a word with Celso. Bit of pulling and tugging as they went down the left flank. Klaus changes sides of the field with Paulitz. Robinson.
Some help.
Splits the double team into the box, sends it over, but stop. Second chance coming from Walker, no good as Moshabani tries to curl it in and gets it out of play on the deflection. But that ball was headed straight for Gomez in the middle of the box, but knocked away by the Lansing back line.
I shouldn't doubt Edmundo Robinson. He was almost triple teamed there and managed to wriggle his way out of it. More and more dangerous there on that right side.
Stoneman will have the throw in.
Perhaps gonna have a substitution here. Not sure what's going on out of screen.
Or a player down. But Stoneman right back up. Long throw towards midfield. Ricocheted right back. Moshabane, little chip forward. Little cut through by Bermudez. Through ball on for him. He's going to get there in time on the right flank. Looking for the cross. Sends it in there, low one, through the hands of Kirk and cleared away. Polak, little give and go, flicked over the top. Here's Keegan, flicked up into the air, on the end line, off the crossbar, again, and deflects out of play. 2 defender saves here tonight already for Lansing Ignite. It stays 1-0.
Man, Chris Bermudez, he did everything in that series of play. Beautiful dribble to set things up. A nice cross again, flashed across goal, back out. Then he has the final look at it, and I don't know how that one stayed out. Unbelievable.
After tonight, Mike Kirk has to buy his defenders a steak dinner or something. The amount of times he's been caught off his line, and a defender save here. Crossbar helping him out too.
Oh.
And deflects off Fricky and out of play. Ball sent in, headed up. Gomez brings it down. Polak tries to split the double, team still going. Slide challenge and a foul called against Ignite. Play will continue. Keegan back across, it's in! Greenville on the board at home, it's 1-1.
Yeah, Ignite are upset because of the quickly taken free kick, but unless the referee asks you to wait for the whistle, you don't have to. I think it was Carlos Gomez that took the quick free and laid it off to Keegan. There's the two of them there celebrating. Carlos Gomez again, an impact player last week and almost had a set-up goal. He was the one that was actually fouled.
He halted the ball, sent it off down the left side of the box.
And that's a Jay Keegan finish right there. He's a sniper and left foot inside the far post, but credit Gomez there with a quick free kick. Might not have been right exactly at the mark, but it was close enough for referee Jasmine Peralta. And Keegan ties things up here, 1-1, and the crowd goes wild.
A sniper for the Binghamton Bearcats in his college days, finding his first in the back of the net for Greenville Triumph. As finally, all those shots paving way to a result at the end. 12 shots to be exact, and that 12th making the difference. 1-1 here, getting some momentum into the crowd.
Yeah, great play by Carlos Gomez. Free kick in that position is not normally one you see taken very quickly, but he obviously looked up and out the corner of his eye, saw Jake Keegan open on the left, and as a result, Triumph have tied things up here.
Lansing looking to respond. Moon looks to put the crossover off of Polak, and it's a corner kick coming for Lansing.
Polak was appealing for the goal kick, but then didn't complain about the corner, so we'll say the decision was right by perhaps the assistant referee there in the corner, but chance for Ignite to get their lead right back here.
Gomez will take the corner kick. Bats it in there. Headed down and cleared, thought briefly by Greenville. Instead, it stayed right up in the air. We're going to have a chance the other way. Here comes Seiler. Bats it ahead downfield. Keegan across, but sails out of play into the Reedy River Riot. Goal kick coming.
They'd have been riding for joy if that one had gone in.
Yeah, quick break the other way for Greenville. Here's another look at it.
Keegan found himself in tons of space. Nobody really closed him down. Left foot effort just floated over.
It's what you call a heat check, probably, after that most recent goal as Kirk sends us into the night.
He's tackled there.
Greenville right back with it. Here in the 57th, 1-1.
And Munda Robinson loves to takes anybody on one-on-one. It's good to see. Tackle there from Klaus.
Triumph winning the tackles left and right. Now Bermudez trying to move it down the field. Brought down by Moshe Bane. And cleared up and away by the Ignite.
Seems like Greenville aren't sitting back as much as they were perhaps in the first half. They're pushing their midfield up a little further and their defenders up a little further, not allowing the Ignite to really get their flow going like they did in the last 20 minutes of that first half. Well, the middle 20 minutes, I should say.
Well, that's what ended up doing them in the end against Marco Micheletto and the Tormenta late in that match. As fouls called against Perez and a free kick awarded to Greenville. Yellow card as well to Perez.
Well, she was thinking about it. Had the hand on the pocket, but changed him. Well, the book's out.
Book's out. She was reaching for the card.
Checking on Walker. Who, me?
Here's another look at that foul.
Yeah, caught him on the side of the knee. That was nasty.
Now he receives the red card. And we could see there some studs into the ankle area.
Is it a straight red or a second yellow for something he said afterwards?
But Perez will have to come off the field. A key holding midfielder. We'll see a replay of the referee's decision here.
Oh, it was his second yellow. He had a yellow earlier on. That's correct.
So are bad on that one.
Yeah, he had that early one in the 14th minute.
Yes,
and that was definitely
yes.
a second yellow there. You can't be doing that with one yellow. And Perez deservedly walks to the showers slowly here.
That a big loss for Lansing. So everything going Greenville's way to start the second half.
All sorts of chaos going out of camera apparently with some upset Lansing Ignite players. Definitely the right decision by Jasmine Peralta though, with that cleat to the outside of the knee. There's no question about it.
And standing by the scores table was Ivo Cerda, who's a central midfielder out there, so that makes sense for that substitution. So Moshe Bane, we're also seeing a yellow card for.
Not sure what he was complaining about. When he sees that replay tomorrow, when he goes to watch back this, he'll regret that yellow card because it was a certain second yellow for.
Obviously, you can't make a tackle like that if you're on a yellow already.
No, very clumsy.
The Cerda on into the match. We'll see who came off for him and how the tactics change for Nate Miller and his squad. Nonetheless, a free kick here for Greenville, looking to take the lead.
Big momentum swing here.
Looking to get the Reedy River Riot on their feet. There's a short route down the right flank. Lansing catches it. Foul called on the edge of the box.
It's a training ground move. Peralta not going to check with her assistant referee. Didn't make the sign with his flag that it was inside the box, so Peralta's not even going to check with him.
Making the mark from outside
Carlos
the box.
Gomez is very upset. I'm pretty sure it was outside. Initial contact was a good foot outside the box. He may have fallen in, but Moshe Benny just picked up the yellow there. Question if he's going to get a second one as well.
So this ruling will be interesting.
Jasmine doesn't have her yellow card or her book out this time just yet, but
And it looks like Moshe Bane maybe caught the tail end of a cleat there in the air.
it's a nice training ground free kick move there. Not one you see very often. Peralta's definitely going to have a word with him at least. It's a potential yellow card offense, especially when you've just got one a couple of minutes earlier. Maybe not enough for a second yellow, but it should never be the case. Anyway, yellow's a yellow, but we know how some of these referees work, and she's coming over Peralta to check with her assistant referee to see what he thinks.
Coach John Harkes making his case.
And there's a second yellow on Moshabani. Wow.
And looking on the replay there, that looks like a yellow card. So away from what happened arguing, that should probably be a yellow.
It's just silly. You know you just got yellow 2 minutes ago, and then a guy charging down the right side of the box, and you collide into him like that with the momentum all going the home team's way. I'm not sure exactly where he got the first yellow card. We can only assume for complaining, but silly stuff there from the South African.
So, Ross, we have our first ever match in League One history with 2 red cards, if you're keeping track. So now it's 11 v 9. Greenville got that first goal in the second half. Looking to find a second here on this free kick.
Leaves a big hole in that Lansing midfield. That's for sure with Perez and Moshabani gone now.
And Nate Miller already used a substitution on Serda. So he already made one decision on that. So now one of the wingbacks out. And now looks like we may see Reese Williams coming into the game. Shortly, at least. Polak takes the chance and grabbed out of the air by Kirk. And Kirk just bringing the ball down, saying, let's take a breather after all of that.
Yeah, you'd have to think now that Nate Miller and the Ignite are just going to have to shut up shop, park the bus, whatever you want to call it, and try and get out of here with escape with a draw.
Well, I don't think Greenville has to worry about that high press anymore from Lansing, but...
Nope, that's completely gone out the window now. Just with some pure madness from a couple of Ignite players. Well, if we wanted our second half action, we got it. That's for sure.
I had the pleasure to be on the Wednesday game as well between Tormenta and Tucson, and this is kind of how it went as well, with 3 goals straight out of halftime. So, USL League One, if it's one thing, it's offering some entertainment for the soccer fans at home.
If Ignite do end up parking the bus, it'll be interesting to see how Greenville react tactically. I don't think they'll change much the way they've been playing here in the last 10 minutes, but here come the Ignite.
Still looking for a goal. They wanted the handball there.
Lopez Espen was screaming.
Through here. Moon stepping up more as a right back now. Through ball up ahead down the right side. Lee trying to get it out of play. And out away from Gomez. So our producer Ryan Rose pointing out to us that Lansing, just like that, tied with Orlando City B for the distinction as leaders of red cards in the league, which is not something you want to see, but nonetheless.
I think maybe Orlando just like playing with 10 men. Some teams seem to do better, to be honest, with the one short.
That's what I was going to ask you. You have 9 men on the field now. What kind of formation do you roll out with that?
Nine men's a lot different than 10. I think you got to play sort of a. I think you leave Lopez Espen up top to just put some pressure on now and again. But then pack the midfield and pack the back and just try and hold on.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Lopez Espen come out for Alex Bruce at some point. We saw Williams standing by the scorers table before. That makes sense. Okay, so Gomez will be, we're hearing, taken out for Williams. Makes sense. Williams more of a back out there. Here come the Triumph. Gomez. Walker. Bringing numbers up. Polak. Services into the box. Far side header, but right to Kirk. That's been the story on many of these shots tonight. Kirk just right place, right time.
Yeah, you're going to have to find that space out wide as Greenville. You're not going to want to pack the middle. Where the space is going to be is on either side. You want to move these 9 players out wide from side to side. Nice diving header there from Edmondo.
Looking for the latest USL League One news and content? Follow at USL League One on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for exclusive access and updates. Of course, you're going to want to stick to social media because of the amazing and wide variety of content we're going to see from this match.
No doubt about that. I'm jealous. I'm missing it right now.
Lee down the left flank.
Key for Greenville here is not to rush things. You've still got 24 or so minutes to pull this winner out. I know you're a little anxious now where you've got the 2 extra men, but take your time and find the open spots where they'll be, and take your chances when you get them, just like you did in that first goal.
Public address announcer saying over 4,000 fans in attendance. Greenville looking to send them home with 3 points as well. That out of play, and a goal kick for Kirk. And here comes that substitution we were talking about. Williams coming into the match. A projected starter really this season. He's been dealing with injury issues, as Gomez will pave way for him, and this really signals Ross they're going to bunker in, which is unfortunate considering Lansing is one of the more attacking teams in the league.
Yeah, Xavier Gomez taking one for his squad here and walking off, I'm sure, not too happy about this decision, but it had to be made with them down to 9 men now, unfortunately.
He's their set-piece specialist as well, so lose a lot with that sub.
We'll see where Reese Williams slots in here. So he's going to head to the left side, perhaps. Go to the back 4 now, obviously. Back 3 previously. So maybe Stoneman will move into the middle with Fricky.
This is about the point against Richmond where things really unraveled for Lansing. Gave up 2 goals late in that match. Trying to solidify things to close out matches this season, obviously.
It's going to be a big test for this Lansing back 4 now in these last 22 minutes.
You're looking like a 1-3-4 formation from them. Lopez Espen just offering some pressure up top. Through ball past Koyfik, back to Polak. Keegan. Centrally now.
Good here from Greenville, knocking around, knocking around. Wait for that space to open.
Robinson looking for the cross. Batted back into play. Seiler stepping up.
Score of the first ever Greenville Triumph goal in preseason. If you get one here,
yep.
This local boy in the place would absolutely go crazy.
Ball sent in, far side of the box. Polak sends it in. Wide and out of play. And offsides flag looks to be up.
Yep. Somebody may was off. Either Polak was perhaps offside there, or somebody on the cross.
Referee instructing Kirk where the ball should be.
Lansing will be in no hurry to do anything from
No.
this moment onwards. As you can see, Mike Kirk is going to take his time taking this free kick.
Only player currently on the field with the yellow is Stoneman for Lansing. The other two, of course, going off with red cards. For Greenville on the other side, Robinson and Seiler both with bookings. Triumph so far, 18 shots tonight, 8 on goal. Just 4 for Lansing. Probably not going to see many more with this current scenario.
Apologies here for the focus problems.
Klaus down the left flank, finds Polak. Sends it in, headed up, top of the box, Carr settling it.
It's clearance there by Koyfik again, not the first time tonight.
Paulitz, right flank with Robinson. Sends it in, takes a deflection right to Kirk. Here in the 71st, the Lansing keeper taking over. Fans follow Greenville and the rest of USL League One all season long on ESPN+, home to the USL, MLS, UFC, and more. Join the over 2 million sports fans who have already discovered ESPN Plus and watch League One live every week. Sign up today at espnplus.com. Of course, with that coming up in May, the U.S. Open Cup coverage. Lee knocks it back through to Jay.
Once again, fans, we are pleased to announce a sellout crowd of 4,014. Thank you for being a part of track history.
The PA announcer there. Solid crowd, 40-14 here for the first Greenville home game. Great showing by the upstate crowd.
Ball sent in from the right flank. Keegan there, heads it back across frame. Brought down by Robinson, trying to curl around. Flicks it up and into the top netting. Goal kick for Kirk.
He found himself in a good position there, but just with the back to his goal, and the Ignite defense did a good job of not allowing him to turn and shoot.
Great showing tonight, as you mentioned, Ross, by Greenville faithful in the upstate of South Carolina.
Hopefully there's a good showing tonight at Ozone's Brew House at Lansing, where the Assembly Line crew's watching there, getting ready for the big Michigan State Final Four game tonight. This might be the longest 17 minutes of their short League One fandom.
Had something to celebrate in the first half. Now some nail biting as they sip on their brews.
May have been some brews thrown after those 2 yellow cards, or 2 red cards, excuse me. Hopefully no damage done.
Hopefully not a long night with Michigan State coming up, but to be determined. Keegan sends it out wide. Chance brewing here for Greenville. Flicked away, stays in play. Bermudez loses it. And up and out of play off of Paulitz here in the 74th.
Serta with a key tackle, I think, there. And with those two likely to miss at least one game, Serta running for a spot out there at the moment in the next one.
And Serta had a pretty good showing off the bench against Richmond in the victory last week. 17 minutes. Did get a yellow card, but played a key role in the defensive midfield.
Perhaps see how long it takes for Harks to perhaps make a change if they don't produce a second goal soon. You do have Cameron Sewell on the bench, who started the first game. Not a natural striker, more of an attacking midfielder, but John Harks talked to us during the week about his ability to play the striker position. He's on the bench tonight, had a bit of a injury problem during the week at training, but should be able to come off the bench here at some point.
Yeah.
Also have Travis Ward on the bench as well, who was impressive when he came on last week. Set up that chance to Gomez and then to Klaus, and that amazing save by Hara.
Saul back training with the team on Thursday, so more than likely match fit. Long ball sent deep, but grabbed out of the air by Dallas J. Foul called on the pitch, and will go the way of Greenville.
Started being smart. They're picking up the ball and walking away. They're not allowing the quick free kick, which obviously led to the first goal.
Another look at that foul.
Yeah, stepped on his foot. A little clumsy there from the newcomer, Reese Williams.
Up in the air by Kirk, but a big collision, and possession goes back to Lansing.
That one's going to hurt tomorrow.
It was Seiler.
Listen, the goalkeepers are as one myself, the goalkeeper is a protected species, and he shouldn't have gone for that one.
Now Seiler's on a yellow right now.
He's very lucky boy. He dropped the shoulder and the elbow in the midriff. He's a very lucky boy. Well, Jasmine Peralta's not done well. She waited late last time, and the book is out again. This might be it for. This might be it for Seiler. We might be down to 10 versus 9 here. I'm sure Cole Seiler can see that the card book is out. And of course, Mike Kirk is making the most of this. He knows what it would mean to get back to within one player. Of course, Lansing players doing all the campaigning they can to get Cole Seiler off the field, but I don't think they're going to need to do anything, and here it comes.
Taking
Jasmine
a
Peralta.
step to the side here.
Well, the card, well, it's gone away again. Now it's back out again. And there it is, and that's the second yellow for Cole Seiler, and he's done.
So our first 10v9 match in USL League One history has arrived, as the center back is gone from the match, 1-1 here in the 78th.
Well, the fans in attendance tonight have certainly got their action. More red cards than goals at this point. But it's been exciting either way. I mean, just some silly stuff. Cole Seiler had no need to go for that ball. Mike Kirk was always going to get to it first. I'm not sure what Cole Seiler is complaining about. It was the right decision.
And it looked like head referee having a word with the assistant, so using her sources from around the field. But after looking at that replay of that collision, looked like a pretty obvious yellow, but just like the situation before, already on a yellow, so you kind of have to give it.
Yeah, especially in a situation like that with the goalkeeper. He's always going to get the decision.
So 3 red cards here tonight. And Lansing has to feel a bit better here now. Down only 1 man again.
I hope that new soccer fans in attendance tonight aren't going to expect this every game. Probably asking their true soccer fans sitting next to them, is this what we get every week here?
This is so exciting. But they'll be ingrained in the memory of all these local fans in South Carolina.
It'll definitely be one of those were you there moments. There's no doubt about that, regardless of the score here.
And hey, fans at home, they have 2 more home matches coming up. Here a player going down. For Lansing, it's a foul going the way of the Ignite.
Beauty of our games being on ESPN Plus is that all these fans can go home tonight and either watch this game tonight and watch it tomorrow morning and just see exactly what happened, replay it as many times as you want.
So it's Moon currently down.
Got stepped on, perhaps.
Yeah, it looked like
That Reese Williams.
Klaus was stepping back and stepped on him.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many of them are wearing metal cleats on this turf, but no matter, it still hurts. With the way these modern boots are made, they're not particularly thick on top.
So everything could change here. Free kick for Lansing. Sent in, headed away, out of play. Was a corner kick, but the flag might have been up for offsides, and indeed it is.
The interesting thing here is now that the Ignite are back within 1 player, I assume Nate Miller's perhaps regretting making that decision. I mean, he had to do it at the time of bringing on the defender. Now,
yes.
They change their formation again, or see what happens here. Enfer on the bench, he's useful, as well as obviously Bruce. Perhaps afford to push a little more forward in the last 10 minutes.
1 sub left for Lansing, 2 left for Greenville.
I'm going to predict an Alex Bruce sighting at some point, as you did earlier, Chris.
I just feel like as a forward, he can cover more ground, which obviously helps out when you're down by a man. So
whether it's for Lopez Espinal, we'll have to see.
Yeah.
Whether they pull a midfielder off.
Keegan, little dribbler in there. Kirk will come up and grab it. Who's up? Who's down? Where does your club sit? Find out every Monday in the official USL League One Power Rankings, only on USLLeague1.com. Greenville looking to make their case in those rankings with a win tonight. Won't be surprised to see Tormenta at the top after the first 2 weeks. Koyfik helps along the header. Polak. Bermudez. Lobs it in there, knocked out of play, collision with Kirk once again, and goal kick is the ruling as Keegan took a tumble.
Take another look at that. Jake Keegan got absolutely annihilated by Mike Kirk. The ball may have been gone. He almost clotheslined him. It was a beautiful cross again by Bermudez. Oof. He pulled him on the way down. I think it was after the contact enough that I don't think a penalty was ever going to be called, but a penalty, a weak penalty go their way in their first game did Lansing, so I wonder what weak penalty going against them here perhaps.
Falls to Lee and over to Polak. Greenville might have switched to a 3-back here down a man, which they are used to.
Yeah, played it last week, and probably what Hawks is going to do against perhaps less potent offensive teams. Chance here.
Service in, right side, sends it, saved by Kirk. Cleared away by Carr.
Stinger off the hands there. Good save by Kirk. He was in the right position and just had to get the hands up quickly.
Polak left flank. They'll try this side now. Bermudez cuts outside, looking for the cross. Dribbler into Koyfik. Stays in place somehow. Have to keep that one in play on the right flank. Gomez to the right side of the box. Robinson cuts back, looking for some help. Deflected there, chance in front of goal, stopped by Kirk. Keegan got the flick, but off the cleat of Kirk.
Another late kick save against the Greenville Triumph. Crazy. Wasn't as good as last week's one by Hara, but still a key one in a key moment there, and it probably should have been put away.
I mean, I gave Koyfik save of the week earlier. That's going to be pretty close, though. Plows down the right flank. Robinson cleared out. Corner kick for Greenville.
Let's take another look at that one. Now, more good work by Amanda Robinson. The great cutback. He's actually looking for Gomez, and what a save. Jake Keegan normally puts those away. Looking for his second goal of the night, but good save by Mike Kirk.
Greenville making another substitution, their second of the night, as it'll be Aaron Walker making way for Cameron Saul. Something we saw coming. Near post, headed on into the back of the net. Triumph convert on the set piece. They're up 2-1 and up a man in the 85th.
Almost looked like a double flicked header. I didn't see who got the final touch. Have to go to the replay for that one, I think. Polak's claiming something with his head. That bald head of his. They're going to look at the replay. It was whipped in by Polak. Oh, he took it, obviously. Forward got a touch, and it was an own goal. It came off either Evan Lee or Grant Stoneman. I'm not sure exactly, but Pollock is going to claim it. I don't think he might get it after the replay and the score. Statisticians take a look at it, but either way, just a couple of minutes after the great save on the kick save, the second one in as many weeks, Greenville Triumph deservedly take the lead here.
So fresh off his nomination to Team of the Week in League One, Kevin Paulitz may be getting his first goal in Greenville history.
I'm going to say it's an own goal by Grant Stoneman.
So that's the whole argument as well.
Evan Lee didn't claim it. He wasn't. Yeah. He wasn't looking for the celebration to come to him.
We'll check the super slow-mo here.
The initial flick by Politz, and yeah, it looks like came off the head or shoulder of Grant Stoneman, who was marking Evan Lee.
And Stoneman right after play puts his hands up in the air, so he knows he touched it at least a little bit. Nonetheless, the Triumph up 2-1 at home. They're up a man, and Lansing looking to respond now in the 86th.
Yeah, Tyler Polak is known for his set-piece play and his left-footed whipped-in crosses, and doesn't matter if one of your opponents puts it in, it still counts as a goal. least now we're even with cards and goals. Like a good tackle there. Looked like he got the ball. Couldn't tell who that was. Perhaps Paul Klaus. Not sure, but
Free kick coming for Lansing. Some life in them still.
when this game's gone, I wouldn't be surprised if there's still some drama left in this one.
Also seeing N4 come in for Nick Moon. So more speed on the wing from the Cameroonian. (10v9) if you're just joining us and heard about the excitement. Sent in there, one hop right to Dallas J.
Now be the Triumph's turn to slow things down. Interesting substitution there. We thought we may see Alex Bruce, but
Not the case.
M4 is dangerous. Not so much from the striker position, but we'll see where he ends up going.
Wingate University player, and then with Asheville City SC in the MPSL, led them in scoring in 2017.
Two former Asheville City players just come on the last 5 minutes.
Looks like Greenville getting set for a sub. Love to see who that is. Have to assume we're going to have plenty of stoppage time.
I would say so. At least 5 or 6 you would have to think.
Fricky brings that down, clears it upfield. Boyfick stepping up, and he goes down. Greenville fans won't agree with that one. Bit late going down. It was a late challenge anyway, so the yellow card comes out. It's Klaus.
You have to think this next Greenville substitution will be a defensive one of some variety. You've got Dominic Boland, the 21-year-old Scot, on the bench, as well as Ryan Choi from just down the road at High Point University.
To Greenville's number 6, Paul Klaus.
Paul Klaus finally gets his yellow card, which he probably should have got a lot earlier in the game after the start he got off to.
Substitution for Greenville. Entering number 2, Dominic Boland.
And it will be a defensive sub as Boland comes in.
Robinson.
Scottish player of nearby Limestone College in Division II. And guess what? Another Asheville City SC player.
There you go, the theme's there. I mean, Boland coming on to get Greenville back to the back four. See where Boland slots in.
Definitely trying to bunker in up a goal here in the 90th.
Looks like he might go to fullback with perhaps Pollitt's pushing into the center. We'll see.
Lansing sends it into the box. Headed up. Dangerous one now for Jay. Body's flying in front of goal, and it's out of play.
Dallas J was on the ground and completely out of that. I'm not sure how he ended up there. I think it might have been purely at the ref. Greenville don't think it was an accident.
Pleading for a call.
There was no whistle. Ignite player had a clear header on it. Dallas J was nowhere to be seen because he was prone on the ground. Apologize for any nasty words you might be hearing in the background.
It was N4 getting the header there. Yeah,
Jay just got caught in traffic, it seemed. I don't think the Ignite player knew much of what was going on. He had his back to Dallas J.
Out of play. Be a throw in down the field for the Triumph. So we're going to be here a while, folks.
Free soccer in the first. This is another thing you won't see every game. Free soccer for those 4,000 fans in attendance. Some may have left already, but
Another sellout. They're getting their money's worth here tonight.
it's almost 10% extra.
There you go.
Math skills aren't that good to give you the exact number.
We'll head into the Chattanooga match next week. They can guarantee 10% extra soccer. Greenville trying to hold things up here with Cameron Saul. Lansing's potent attack plenty of time. Saul gets in there, the deflection, out of play, throwing coming for the Ignite.
Good work down there in the corner by Dominic Boland. A little perhaps further up than he should be at this point in the game in a 2-1 contest, but good work to keep Lansing pinned in there.
Lansing looking to give the fans at the assembly line and Ozone's Brew House up in Lansing something to cheer about. 92nd minute. Stopped by the Triumph. N4 couldn't get to that one. The throw in now for Polak.
Speaking of getting to it, Taylor Polak's not being in any hurry to get to that one. He's waiting for perhaps the ball boy to come through, but I'm sure the ball boys have been trained correctly as well. That's as much as I'll say about that.
Whistle away from the ball.
Polak perhaps trying to get too much of an advantage. Don't know. Not sure what's going on. Oh, Dominic Boland, is that down? And it just came on.
Indeed, after just coming on. Feeling something here in the 93rd.
That scoreboard there, 22 shots to 4. Obviously, much of that's been since Ignite were down 2 men, but here's the come the Triumph now.
Keegan and Gomez got caught there, both going after the ball and halted for a moment. But not only that, 22 shots, 11 of them on goal, so they're shooting 50%.
Yeah, been much better here in the second half, obviously. The situation has had a bit to do with that, but they've been impressive. A little more offensive urgency in the second half from Greenville.
Good response to the loss last week, regardless of the result. Here come the Triumph in the corner now.
Official scorekeepers have given the own goal to Stoneman, by the way.
Good catch on that. Out of play, throw in for Lansing.
A very similar goal in my Bournemouth game earlier today. We won't mention the result of that, but there was a very similar goal for Bournemouth in the first half. Nathan Ake flicked header, came off a defender and in, just like that goal there.
So unfortunately for Kevin Paulitz, won't be getting his first goal in a Greenville uniform. Down there, and Ignite will get the ball back. They still have about 3 minutes. Make something happen here.
That's a good foul there. Takes another good foul by Cameron Saul. Takes another few seconds off the clock. Well, of course, now the Ignite players trying to get those seconds back with it.
It's Fricky that's down. He got right back up saying, let's go. Through here towards Cameron Saul, knocked back to Kirk. Bermudez.
Not taking this one to the flag. Oh! Kirk took a cleat to the head almost, but he knows he can't waste any time now. Milk that one.
Yeah, Bermudez looked like trying to draw the contact. Serda.
Should have probably just gone to the corner. Hope he doesn't come back to haunt him here.
Got a minute and a half here for Lansing. Chance from far out, deflected away. Bermudez, enough on it to clear it. Koyfik.
Going the wrong way.
And Greenville will let Kirk get it. Lansing's last chance to get forward. Pollock trying to clear. Pollock knocks it downfield. Here's Kirk again. As time dwindles for Lansing. Up 1-0 at the break, but the Triumph coming out in the second half. Looking to make a statement, and indeed they did, with the help of 3 red cards in this game, but nonetheless, as it's headed up and out of danger. Collision in the air, play continues with Keegan. And with the final whistle, the first win in club history for John Harkes and the Triumph. They take it 2-1 in Legacy Early College. An impressive turnout from the fans. Impressive result, but along the way, 3 red cards and many more we'll go through. Lopez Espin the early goal in this match, but Lansing unable to close things out. Only mustering 5 shots overall compared to 22 for Greenville, including 11 on target.
Yeah, an exciting win. If anybody came to this game thinking soccer's boring, they're not going to come away with that impression.
Lopez Espin the early goal in this one off the fingertips of Jay, but it was Greenville that had the final say, taking it 2-1 from Greenville, South Carolina, as they erase that early loss last week to Tormenta. And of course, we'll take you through all the crazy stats, all the crazy occurrences in this match right after this break, as the Triumph and the Reedy River Riot celebrate their first win in club history, 2-1 over the visiting Lansing Ignite FC. Greenville at 3 points in the table. Welcome back here to Greenville, South Carolina, as the Reedy River Riots celebrate, along with the several fans from the upstate South Carolina. 2-1 triumph, victorious at home. As we take a look at our highlights from this evening, and plenty to look at, especially from the second half, but we'll start in the first half, as it was an early lead for Lansing despite not getting many chances in that first half. And here's that breakaway we're talking about. Moshabane over, and then Lopez Espin finished it. Go up early, feeling pretty good on the road.
Yeah, Greenville dominated that first half hour, but goal came against the run of play. But
some chances early on for Greenville. Plenty of them here tonight with 22 shots. 11 on goal, and Mike Kirk having to be saved a few times in this match by his veteran center backs in front of him.
Yep, this is the second half when this was an amazing set of plays. I don't know how the ball didn't go in on either of 3 occasions. Off the face there. And
the Triumph just had to keep trying and trying, staying determined in this match after multiple defender saves overall.
Yeah, there was the hands to the face and then the slide, and the quick free kick by Gomez. Loved out there to Keegan. A couple of touches, left foot across the face of Kirk and inside the far corner.
First goal in Greenville history, and it's Jake Keegan with that strike, and that tied at 1-1 as frustrations continued for Lansing, and this is where the game really changed, and cards started being shown a lot more, to say the least.
Just a great heads-up play by Gomez. Again, he might not have been on the exact spot of the foul, but he looked up and saw Keegan there and found him. Not something you normally see around the box. You normally want to take that setup strike, but poor header there by Celso.
So here's the first red card, where Perez had his second yellow of the day, and the studs were up in that. And Perez, he knew that was coming, and his night was done.
Yep, studs up is always an easy call for the referee. They're always looking for that, and I've been told over these last few years, if you got those studs up, you're risking a yellow card every time.
So Greenville continued the onslaught. Kirk coming in and flies into the run of Seiler. So this was after the second red for Lansing, and for Seiler, this would pretty clearly be a second yellow of the day.
Yeah, it was just very clumsy from the local boy. Jasmine Peralta there with that was a great shot of her just wiping her sweat away. This is really the third one I'm giving tonight, but sorry. Off you go.
That pretty much evened things back up. It was 10v9 for the rest of the match as the cards took a pause at least for a while. And Greenville chances will continue, including this goal. We thought it was Paul Litz, but it ends as Stoneman with an own goal.
Yeah, there's not much you could do about it. The deflection, you had no chance to get out of the way. Just hit him on the head and went in. Unlucky, but Greenville Triumph fans and the team won't be complaining about it. They'll take that every day.
And that would prove the game-winning goal, 2-1, as we move into our stats from tonight. Plenty of cards to be shown, physical battle overall, but here's the big thing. 22 shots for Greenville, just 6 for a Lansing squad we saw dominate offensively against Richmond.
No, Greenville won the battle between their defense and the Ignite offense. There's no doubt about that. We knew coming in that that would be the key thing in this game. Obviously, the red cards had an impact, but Triumph did what they had to do second half and got that key second goal, and that 62% possession helps as well.
So 9 total cards being shown here tonight, and 38% possession for Lansing, not enough to get it done. Now post-game autographs as the Triumph celebrate their victory 2-1 over Lansing, and they move to 3 points on the table and their first victory as a club. And a great showing tonight by the fans. Sellout crowd, an awesome atmosphere the entire night.
Yeah, well, back here again, home next week. The Triumph looking for their second straight win and a move up the standings here tonight. Good for them.
Yeah, Ross and I will be back with you next Saturday, 7 p.m. start as Greenville hosts nearby Chattanooga Red Wolves SC. Should be another great battle between 2 new clubs in USL League One. With that, I'd like to thank our entire crew from Greenville, South Carolina, including producer Ryan Rose, alongside me, Ross Davenport. I'm Chris McCovic. Have a great night, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.